For the third time in his career, Filipe Toledo comes into the Billabong Pipe Masters in title contention. Can he hold his nerve and close it out in 2019? We'll have to wait and see. Ronnie Blakey with the 88 World Champ. Barton Lynch.
Felt like Ricardo Christie held him off that one. Deivid Silva.
Yeah, interesting lineup and competitive. Right now, though, we've got Ricardo Christie. He is way down the back end of the rankings at this stage of the game, and even with a victory here at the Pipe Masters, he'd need a few people to fall out of the mix before him to have any shot of requalification here. So really he should be feeling relaxed going into this final event of the year, and we'll see how the Kiwi fares.
Yeah, I mean, he was incredibly candid. I think, you know, his story, we have someone up and writing right now.
This is Deivid Silva. Interesting story going on with him as well in this contest. He finds a little double barrel section there, but he needs to really make it through a few heats to give Morgan Sabilik, the young Australian, an opportunity, because he's the one guy that may double qualify. Yago Doria also in a position to do that.
We have a look at the replay slides into this one. You see that got really tall. He gets this little bonus section there, travels through. So a couple of tubes on the one wave, not one of the bigger waves, smallest set wave, but at the same time here on a much bigger, much throatier type of wave. Oh, Filipe Toledo. He got out of the tube, fell just on the exit. So I feel like the judges are going to cruel him for that. All the hard work was done, Ronnie. It was just a matter of getting out of that tube and banking that score. You see Ricardo Christie on one, but for Filipe, a really big missed opportunity right there. And you've got to consider what influence the pressure of the moment had. Some small ones, and he sort of started on small ones, trying to find a comfort level, but here's straight away on big ones.
Let's see how he goes on the left now. Tucking in, great technique, feeling the face of that wave. He'll find his way through this one. I guess when you look at his previous runs at the title here at Pipe, you've got to check his results. 2015, finished with a 13th. He's got to, you know, keep his head in the game here, doing well on this one.
Yeah, slides in, great control. Nice, you see the wave spit. Anytime a wave spits, you know it's thrown, it's got that power in it. Great technique of the leg, using it to get as deep as he could. Came out, got a nice clean completion. And after a fall and after a missed opportunity, always the best way is to just jump back straight onto the horse and get something completed so your confidence rebounds.
Yeah, you know, one of the things Filipe and I talked about was him being framed as the world's fastest surfer by the actual world's fastest surfers in a lot of ways.
Well, this is Toledo. This was a 5.83. This wave taken during the break, and he's really starting to gather some momentum now.
He sure is, and he's able to do that because he hasn't got priority. The guys are waiting, and so when you can go on the hunt and find other things. I feel like that was a really well scored wave, and this little opportunity while the other guys have been sitting waiting has really played into Filipe's favour. It's allowed him to build momentum and start to get some confidence.
Heading into its 50th year, Toledo during the break, finding himself a nice little backdoor jam, just seems to be ahead of the other competitors out there. It's looking like he's taking control of this lineup. Silva up at the moment. We mentioned his position on the Championship Tour ratings, 22nd spot, and that is the last qualifying position on the CT, holding on the QS, sorry, holding on the 10th position.
And interesting to see that as a priority wave, and such a long time waited, and it was actually a wave that's a little smaller and quite possibly a little worse than the waves that Filipe was getting without it. So Filipe getting creative, taking advantage. Deivid Silva there, he's got to, you know, if you wait, you've got to make the wait worthwhile. Waiting for something that doesn't build on situations and match the scores of your opponent. Really, you know, when you've got that priority, I imagine you've got to be thinking sixes as a minimum in your mind.
He had that right-hander. It was maybe the hardest earned 1.13 of the day.
Yeah.
Had he come out of that, that would have been a huge score. So I think he's really taking control of the heat.
Deivid Silva with 4.5 minutes to go.
Deivid Silva going that left, sort of shorter, quicker tube. Nice, bigger set. I'm excited to see what happens here. Pulls in deep. Beautiful backdoor, and you knew this was coming, and really in a way that's just a warm-up, because at some point further down the line you may need to make that air to win a world title.
Barton, obviously Filipe, he's so talented. Technically he's brilliant. It doesn't seem like that's the issue when it comes to these heavy water waves. There's only one place that he really needs to improve in that department.
Yeah, and I suppose it's familiarity. You can't fake it.
Meanwhile, out the back, Ricardo Christie gets one of his better looking rides. He's going to kick out try and get back to that position of priority on the outside.
Well, advantage Filipe Toledo there, because the priority situations that had sat, like heavy weight on the shoulders of Ricardo and Deivid Silva. But again, he scores are quite low. Ricardo pulls in nice and out of that exchange.
That's going to be his result for this seeding round. So he'll be looking at an elimination round heat. Filipe Toledo, job done in the first round. Picked off some nice waves. He's found another one here.
Confidently done. It felt good. It felt strong. There was nothing more than you needed to do in a first round heat. Get that advancement. So talented is this young man. He's a magician. It was a great heat. A good starter. You don't need to go out there and drop 8s and 9s in your first heat and feel like, I've already shown, what I've got, and Mother Nature's already given me my chances. It's kind of nice when you get through and you feel like you've just done enough and you've got a lot more left in the back pocket.